Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you guys how to make these really cute yarn pumpkins out of products that you might already have and one of the Dollar Tree pumpkins. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm so excited to show you guys these. We figured out how to make these because we had some leftover yarn and we made them with my great aunts when they were in town. So all it is one of the styrofoam pumpkins covered in yarn with just a cute little twig as the top. So I'm going to show you guys how to make these. They take just a few minutes. They're so cute and I love them. And you could do them in Halloween colors if you're still doing Halloween DIYs, or you can do them in fall colors and put them out for Thanksgiving. So I still think they're totally usable for this year. And if you don't do it this year, it's something that you can look forward to next year if you feel like you want to do it. So I'm just going to show you guys, this is my first DIY, so be patient with me. I still don't know how to film that well, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. So the three yarns that I'm going to use are ones that we had here. I have this little bit of a chenille, kind of chunkier, like a beigey kind of a taupe color in that. I also have this really cute eyelash kind of one that's in this burnt orange, really pretty rust color. And then I also have this kind of a marbled with the like mustard yellow and the beige in there. So it's kind of like a harvesty color. So that is what made this pumpkin. So that's what that yarn looks like. You can actually see through the little styrofoam. It would have been better if I painted them white, but you really can't see it if you just play around with it a little bit and figure it out. So yeah. And then this one I used a little eyelash and I love how it looks fuzzy. You guys can see that up close. It looks really fuzzy and really cute. So that's what I used that one for. So what I'm going to show you first is the first thing that I do is you start with one of the styrofoam pumpkins and you're going to want to cut it out. I just used a regular steak knife to do this, and you just cut out along the top. It has a little seam here that you can just cut out, and then you just pull out the top. And then you're going to want to do the same thing with the bottom. So I went ahead and pre-cut it, but you're just going to cut it with a knife and make sure that you have a pretty large hole because the yarn gets thick when you're wrapping it around. So you want a pretty big hole. So I like to start with just a really big hole. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight or anything because you're going to cover it with yarn. So that's what I started with. And then you just want to start wrapping. So all you do is, as you can see down here, it's just a raw end here. And all you do is just tuck that inside of the pumpkin. And then you take some more of your yarn. So say you were starting this, you just start and you just stick it in. So you stick it into the top of the hole and then you just wrap it around, pull it through the other side, grab it through there. Just pull the rest of your length through. And what I do is I cut little strips of the yarn instead of doing the whole spool. So that way it's not so much to pull through each time. And then yeah, just keep bringing it through and pulling it through. And then you're just going to do that the whole way around your pumpkin. And then as you do it, you're going to want to bring them over and make them really straight and tight. And that's what's going to keep it from looking orange. So if you can see there, you're not going to see any orange through there once I get done. And yeah, you just keep feeding it through and pulling it through. And it's really easy for the first few things because you can just really get in there with your hand and pull it through. So it might get a little tricky as you're going, so that's what I'm going to show you next. I have this one that I have gotten started that's gotten a little bit further, and you can see what I mean here with the top gets smaller and smaller as you go when it starts out with something like this, and then as you get going, it's going to get a little bit tighter and a little bit tighter until eventually your hole gets kind of small. And what I do when that happens is I go ahead and I feed it through again, so you have your end right there. If you guys can see, my end is in my fingers there. What I like to do is grab just any crochet hook. I just have a big one right here. And what I do is I just go in here, I grab it through with my fingers and just pull it through. And that's just makes it a tiny bit easier for it to get through the hole. Instead of having to pull it out with your finger, you can just reach in there, grab your yarn and bring it through. And so that makes it a little easier to poke it through if you can't do it with your fingers the whole time. But yeah, then you just keep pushing and pulling through until you get it all the way around. And all you do with your ends, if you have any ends that are picking out, you just have to pop them right under and they just kind of stay in. It's really nice. It's a really easy DIY. You just pick your ends under. You don't have to do any gluing, or you just have to have scissors and some yarn. Dollar Tree has yarn. You could do this with all Dollar Tree products. I just happened to have some yarn laying around and needed to use it. So I figured I would come up with a DIY to do that. But yeah, you're just going to keep going with this until you hit the end of your pumpkin. And then at the very end, you're going to put in some sort of a stem. I grabbed just some twigs from our yard to put into these. but I actually wanted to show you guys another option. So these are just sticks from the yard, just stuck in there. They're not glued in or anything, they're just stuck in, but they stay really well. All of it stays really well. You don't need any glue. I didn't use any glue in any of these, and I didn't even knot any of my yarn. It's just kind of stuck in and stuck in places so that it stays, and it kind of makes it look a little bit more thrown together and less perfect, which I kind of like. So I'm going to show you guys how to make a stem. I made a really kind of cute one here just out of jute cord, and what I used is the wired jute cord from Dollar Tree. It's the Floral Garden wired jute cord, and you get 7.5 feet in here, so it's a pretty nice size. So I grabbed this to show you guys how to make just a little thing, and all I did was just twist it up. I'm going to show you. Let me show you with the new one. So all you do is just take it out of the packaging, and then you have to unwind the first bit to get it to go. But then I just straightened it all out, and then I literally just twisted it and pulled it up like this to make a bunch of little loops, and I just looped it around a bunch of different times, and then at the end I wrapped the bottom like that. So you just keep making loops until you get to something like this, but because it's wired, it really stays in the shape, and you can make it a little bit thicker so that then you can just stick it down. So then when I'm finished with this one, I'll just stick it down in there, and then I can play around with it to make it look a little bit better, you know, and it'll stick out when it's all yarned in there. But yeah, so I thought that was another little cute alternative to a stem. Or you can find sticks like I did out of the garden, and they're just plain sticks that you can just go ahead, and as you can see at the end, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to have hardly any space in the middle, and then you're just going to stick in your stick. It's perfect. I think these are so cute. They are so easy to do. They take me about 10 minutes per pumpkin, and I'm going to do a bunch of these and set them around for Thanksgiving. I'm really excited with them. So I hope that you guys like this DIY. I know that it was really quick, really simple, something super easy that everyone's probably seen already, yarn pumpkins, but I wanted to show you because it's something fun that we did with my family, and I thought maybe you guys would like them too. So go and get you guys some styrofoam pumpkins and get crafting, because it's really fun to do. It was a fun thing to do with my family. We just kind of sat around and watched, I think we had on a movie, like a fall movie, and we just sat around and made pumpkins, and it was really a fun activity. So if you guys have any of these laying around, you're not sure what you're gonna do with them, yarn. Yarn is just fun to have and to do things with anyways. So yeah, make you some really cute pumpkins. You guys, I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up. Let me know down below if you guys are gonna make these, or if you have done any other crafts with these, let me know what you're doing with these down below, because I have a few more, and I'm always into knowing and learning new crafts. So if you guys are new, I would love it if you would subscribe, and until the next time that I see you all, take care.